In the age of social media and influencers, lots of people pretend to be super rich and successful. With all the posing that goes on, it can be tough to identify the genuine people from the frauds. On the surface, people may look like they can afford anything they set their eyes on. But behind closed doors, it could be a very different matter. Let's jump straight to the list of 15 signs to look out for when trying to spot a fake rich person. Number 15. They rely on credit cards to pay for things. A person may go around wearing designer labels and luxury items, but this doesn't mean they are wealthy. If you want to spot a faker, then pay attention to how they pay for their goods. If they're constantly getting credit cards out or multiple credit cards from different banks, then the chances are they don't have the money to pay for their goods, instead relying on finance. Many people get themselves into severe debt in order to keep up their wealthy appearance. This usually means they have no savings to fall back on and are still paying finance for past purchases. Even if they earn a decent wage, rich fake people may be living paycheck to paycheck so that they can keep up appearances. Number 14. They pay for things in installments. If someone is genuinely super rich, they won't think about paying in installments because they would already be able to afford it without worrying about finances and payment days. Do you know people who are always paying for things in installments? Chances are they're always broke by the end of the month. There are exceptions to this rule, however, as some wealthy people like to pay for everything in installments because keeping money on hand will give them larger funds to use for investments, which in turn generates them more money. Number 13. They have a need to impress people. Fake rich people will go to extreme lengths to impress people, even if they don't have the bank balance to back it up. They often need validation from others who are genuinely wealthy, and they thrive on the approval of others in their life, such as friends and family. Because of this, they make extra efforts to show off their most expensive things to give the impression that they have made it. This can be seen all the time on social media platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn, with people posting boastful updates about their journey to the top and their latest purchases. Some will shamelessly work it into conversation, trying to talk about how much they paid for a particular item. Others who have been doing it for a while will have mastered ways of redirecting all their conversations back to their expensive purchase, achievements, and future plans. Just remember the saying, talk is cheap. Ironically, it tends to be genuine rich people that are humble, hardly boasting about all the assets they own and how much money they have in the bank. In fact, many won't admit they are rich to protect themselves, their families, and their assets. Number 12. They're also constantly changing cars. One week it's a Porsche, then next it's a Mercedes, followed by a Lexus. At first, this may lead you to believe that they are so rich they have more cars than an impound yard, but this isn't always the case. If a person changes their vehicles frequently, the odds is that they are renting the cars on short-term basis. This is a very costly way for a person to fake being rich, which will ironically bring them into more debt if not careful. Number 11. Money is all they can talk about. Most people are well-rounded and have varied interests and hobbies. This allows them to engage in conversations about several topics. When it comes to fake rich people, however, the conversation always comes back to one thing: money. All they seem to talk about is how to accumulate money, how to spend money, and how much money they have. And they'll even try to compare their fictional life with your own as a way to put you down. The reason for this fixation is down to the dedication they have to their fake rich person and the amount of time and effort they put into it. Of course, having money-related conversation is perfectly fine, but for most people, talking about one topic during an entire conversation gets boring very quickly. Talking solely about finances is also a strong indication of a person's priorities and motives in life, regardless of their financial status. Number 10. He spends a lot. Even if a person is spending a lot without the need for credit cards and installments, it doesn't necessarily mean they're rich. A truly wealthy person will usually pull back on spending so that the money can be invested, generating even more profit from long-term assets. If someone is always spending hundreds of dollars each time you go out, they may be doing it to impress you and could be spending far more than what is coming in. Number 9. They always want more. Some people will go incredible lengths to impress others. Fake rich usually do this by trying to keep up with the latest and most expensive trends, which are often pushed by influencers. They will have the brand's newest items from top stores and will try and embarrass those who don't. When the next big product is released, they are the first in line to buy it, even if they can't afford it. Sadly, nothing is ever good enough for people who are pretending to be rich, who will acquire items through credit, which will depreciate in value the second they step out of the store. Fake rich people will also talk about the next big project or role, which will earn them a fortune, but they'll have nothing to show for it. Often they'll embark on one financial adventure, then hop onto another that may sound more trendy or interesting, but never actually earning from it. Number 8. They care more about perception than quality. Everyone has to make big purchases once in a while, whether it's a new car, a new computer, or a phone. Most of the time, people will do this quietly, without the need to broadcast it to the world. Fake rich people, however, feel the need to tell everyone in their social circles to make them appear more successful and wealthy. Another thing people pretending to be wealthy will do is buy branded items, where the logos and labels are much larger than others in the range so that people will notice them easier as they walk by. For them, owning luxury items is about making a statement, not the quality or use of the product. Number 7. Their purchases don't match their home. Another huge red sign that someone is fake rich is the value of their car compared to the value of their home. A top tip to look out for is if they own a vehicle that is more than 15% of the value of their home. If they do, then they're living beyond their means and are most likely borrowing money or racking up debt. Fake rich people will also give themselves impressive or complicated job titles to make others think that they are incredibly successful and influential, caring more about perception than reality. Number 6. They name drop a lot. Many people like to name drop rich and famous people in order to make themselves look important or capable of generating opportunities with the celebrity. This happens in all kinds of social circles, but it's most common among those trying to portray themselves as wealthy. These people will talk about the famous or rich person like they are best friends, when in truth, they may have been briefly in the same room. Often the stories are completely made up as a way to impress people or to persuade them to do favors. People should watch out for those who collect names so that they can drop them into conversation, as it's a sign that they value perception above everything else. Number 5. Fake rich people compare what they have to everyone else. When someone is trying to sell themselves as a rich person, they will go to extra efforts to show off their belongings. They'll show off every little thing, as well as tell you the price, as long as it's way over the average cost of the item. They'll also make sure they compare their new purchases to what you have, whether it's a car, furniture, clothing, or jewelry, and will be quick to do the math and share with you how much more their item is worth. Often they'll act nonchalantly after revealing the price, like the money doesn't matter. This kind of mentality is a sign of a fake rich person who is overcompensating and trying to place their insecurities on you. Number 4. They constantly brag about where they've been. Fake rich people will often brag about all the amazing places they've been, even posting several images. They'll even take pictures of their meals if they're eating out somewhere known to be expensive. While this could just be a genuine rich person, those who fake it will have long breaks between posting images, waiting for an affordable reason to travel or go out, like a family vacation or a work trip. Most rich people will go to places and not even think about bragging about it. Number 3. Their circle consists of other fake rich people. Fake rich people tend to gravitate towards others like them in order to make themselves appear as if they have a network of influence, much like genuine wealthy people. Often, it's to back up pretenses, while other times, it is to try and manipulate other people who they think they can gain from, when in reality, they are just as poor. Number 2. There's always an excuse. When it comes to those trying to portray themselves as rich and successful, they will always have an excuse ready. These type of people will always avoid making plans that include spending, such as expensive restaurants, ticket venues, and trips away. Often it'll be them who suggest the occasion while in front of others to make them appear keen, but cancel soon after. If they do venture out, they frequently forget their wallet or have all their funds tied up in investments. Other excuses to get out of spending are that they are tied up with work, have schedule conflicts, or are meeting important clients to discuss exciting opportunities. Eventually, they'll run out of excuses, and the truth will come out. Number 1. They can't hold deeper conversations about building wealth. The biggest giveaway that someone is pretending to be rich is when they can't express their financial knowledge. On a surface level, most people can talk about investing, assets, and personal finance. But when things get deeper about their processes of building wealth, their position crumbles. Fake people will often practice what they have to say, much like a script, to sound knowledgeable and impressive. When they're asked questions outside of their limited knowledge, however, they'll prove that they don't know much when it comes to the finer details of money making. True rich people will smell fakers a mile off and will swiftly close the conversation down. The truth of the matter is, genuinely rich people don't have to prove it to others. If you're successful, living comfortably, and amassing profit via assets and investments, you'll realize there is nothing profitable about telling the world you are rich. If you've enjoyed this video and like to see more luxury topics covered on Daily Joy Time, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to never miss out.